Come to me!
Oh, cleanse that bastard's curse.
You might want to grab your nearest shield and Estus flask, because we are about to throw ourselves right into the Souls-like genre, which wasn't even considered an official genre not too long ago. Not until it basically took the gaming industry by storm, with some masterfully crafted game releases that exploded in popularity to a point that even many players who were sure that this genre wasn't their cup of tea actually fell in love with these games after all. Quite a few developers these days are putting the Souls-like tag on their game as a badge of honor, but only a select few of them can actually deliver an experience where you don't want to kinda just close the game and play a FromSoft title instead. The Souls-like genre, drawing inspiration from earlier games like ICO and Shadow of the Colossus, has redefined the approach to narrative and world building in gaming. But what exactly is a Souls-like game? If you're new here, you might think these games are made by people who love to torture players for fun. And honestly, sometimes when you're playing, you can't help but wonder, why exactly am I even doing this to myself?
Oh, come on!
But trust me, there's more to it, because a Souls game encompasses far more than just the moments of defeat or victory. The true essence lies in the journey, the exploration, the stories you uncover along the way. The lore is often told through environmental storytelling and cryptic dialogues, and this invites us to fully immerse ourselves into the game's universe.
Easy, with a bit of yarn and blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
Originating with the release of Demon's Souls and subsequently popularized by the Dark Souls series, these games have created a unique niche in our gaming world. They are known mostly for the often unrelenting difficulty, especially deep lore, and immersive worlds. At this point, the term Souls-like has become a genre in its own right. And this raises the question, what exactly makes Souls-like games so captivating? And why and how have they amassed such a dedicated following? Well, one significant contributor to the genre's success is of course the master and founding father of the genre itself. Souls-like daddy, FromSoftware, has rightfully earned this title through its pioneering and continued excellence in this area. It all started back in 2009, because yes, while Dark Souls is the title that most people immediately think of when the word Souls-like is mentioned, it actually isn't the originator. No, it was Demon's Souls that laid the groundwork for the genre with its challenging gameplay, deep lore, unique multiplayer elements, such as leaving hints or traps for other players, and genuinely atmospheric worlds. It was a bold departure from mainstream gaming trends at the time, favoring difficulty and discovery over handholding and straightforward narratives. But it wasn't until 2011 that FromSoftware's global acclaim in the genre was pretty much cemented with the release of Dark Souls. This game series, well, it refined and expanded upon the foundations set by Demon's Souls, introducing a more interconnected world and a much richer lore. FromSoft has consistently delivered high quality, innovative games like Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro that each brought new elements, ideas, and further refinements to the formula. Not only have these titles defined a genre, but they have also raised the bar for what players expect in terms of challenge and depth in video games. Their design philosophy of Souls games, emphasizing exploration, player agency, and learning through failure, has inspired a new generation of games and developers. And well, then there came Elden Ring. Even for gamers not particularly interested in the genre, it was pretty much impossible to not hear about this game's success. Elden Ring achieved phenomenal success due to its, I dare say, masterful combination of challenging gameplay and open world designed in a way that actually makes you want to go explore, that isn't filled with the typical open world issues you find in many Ubisoft titles, for example, and a complex narrative co-created by Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin. The game's difficulty offered a rewarding experience that resonated with both hardcore and casual gamers. And that had a reason. For pretty much the first time in the franchise, if you, for example, found a boss just too difficult to tackle, well, you still had to beat him, unless it's an optional boss. But you had so many more options to become more powerful and experienced, to kill that boss. Take the first major, non-optional wall in Elden Ring, for example. Margit, the Fell Omen. Many players got their ass handed to them because they went straight to him with level 15 or something in that range. Now, instead of having to try again and again until you either beat him or slowly lost your mind, you can go in entirely different directions and locations. You can quite literally spend 30 or 40 hours in Elden Ring before even attempting Margit, at which point you would probably one-shot him. But hey, you do have that option. Elden Ring's success is not just in its gameplay or world building, it's in how it expanded the Souls-like formula to a broader audience. Players were given the freedom to explore the expansive world at their own pace, discover hidden lore, tackle challenges in various ways, and shape their own experiences. And this, combined with the traditional Souls-like elements of challenging combat and storytelling, created a game that appealed to both longtime fans and newcomers. They somehow found the perfect mix of giving the players freedom while still keeping it as challenging as a Souls-like game should be. Now, recent years, and especially 2023, have taught us that while FromSoft is still considered the king of Souls games, other developers are starting to get the hang of creating engaging Souls-like experiences as well. Just a few recent games worth mentioning are Lies of P, Lords of the Fallen, and I'm pretty sure the highly anticipated Black Myth Wukong. As different as they may all be, there are certain aspects that all of the successful Souls games excel at. This all starts with genuinely atmospheric world building and their unique approach to storytelling. There is something truly magical about exploring Irithyll of the Boreal Valley, Faring Keep, or Limgrave. These environments are more than just beautiful backdrops. They are pretty much characters in their own right. Every corner of these worlds is crafted with purpose. Even seemingly simple things like enemy placement and item location, telling a piece of a larger story. And that brings us to the sense of discovery in Souls-like games. Finding one of the many hidden paths, uncovering a secret item, or encountering a mysterious NPC. This blend of exploration, storytelling, and challenging combat are what creates the unforgettable experiences. Now, it is important to know that death is part of the experience, and therefore, one shouldn't get too frustrated when dying often. The Souls games use death as a learning tool. You are learning through failure, and each death teaches you something new, whether it's about enemy patterns, environmental hazards, or simply the use of your own abilities. This trial and error approach encourages us to learn from our mistakes and adapt our strategies. Despite the risk of death, the games encourage exploration because players are often rewarded for taking risks and trying new strategies, which can lead to discovering shortcuts, hidden items, or more effective ways to defeat enemies. It's also a welcome side effect that it basically teaches us patience and resilience. But there is one last huge part that makes these games so captivating: the interconnected world design that basically acts like one gigantic, complex puzzle. You can describe it as a maze of wonders. These games turn exploration into an actual adventure, because you're not just moving from point A to point B, you're stumbling upon shortcuts and finding valuable, secret treasures. And I'm talking actually valuable items that are always very much worth exploring every nook and cranny. It's almost like being a detective in a dark, mysterious world, Getting to know the world by heart becomes part of the game. It simply makes you feel more connected to the game world when you are actively remembering landmarks and routes. It's honestly like you're really in it. Souls games teach us that true accomplishment comes from overcoming adversity, and their influence stretches far beyond their own genre. It's not just about difficulty, it's about creating an engaging, rewarding experience that stays with you. And that is about it for today. If this video was helpful or entertaining, consider leaving a like. It really does help with my video's performance.